Why is it that everybody has to work like a donkey?
A woman who has died by suicide in Pune, and the mother has blamed
Work hours contributed to her deteriorating health. She brought up relentless demands, unrealistic expectations, bombarding work messages, and glorification of overwork.
Is Indian work culture actually toxic?
To a certain degree, yes.
I think it was like most of the times I used to feel burnt out.
Yes, the work culture is definitely toxic because where people have very little choice or rights when it comes to their demands. Shortage of jobs, shortage of opportunities.
I'm an architect by profession. At first, I was working at a very small firm, so there wasn't that much politics and it wasn't that much toxic because I was handling major work. But when I shifted to corporate work, there was office politics, people talking behind their back, a lot of toxic behavior which made me leave the job.
It honestly depends on the leadership, on how they want to mold their team. If the leadership believes in toxic work culture like the Infosys Narayan Murthy, then it relates to the entire leadership and then to the team. But a lot of these startups are focusing on mental health, having their own mental health programs, and that's also a progressive step. So I just feel like it's the employer that you choose.
It's no joke that the job market has progressively become more and more competitive. With the skill gap between people reducing and the demand for opportunities exceeding the active supply, we have reached a stage where people are easily replaced and the pressure to perform is at unhealthy heights.
It's a kind of an inherited thing that we feel like that we have to do a lot of mehnat, a lot of work so as to reach to a certain level. So that is why we do so much things, and it's already built in everyone's mindset, in your boss, in you only. You are being incentivized for that.
Hustle is needed, but hustle has to be smart enough to know where to exactly do that effort and where not to do that effort.
There are another set of managers who are into micromanaging their juniors, their subordinates. So at every drop of the hat, asking questions about what is happening, what is the thing. Every minute, an hour, every minute, asking questions about where they are heading, how they are doing. Micromanaging is something which is good to an extent in short term, but long term it is really irritating and toxic.
Expectations in terms of management of the company, like you are given a task and you are expected to do a lot in less amount of time. So that is where people actually go and they keep working hard enough and they impact their work-life balance, their personal life is impacted.
Having spent 36 years in the corporate world, what I have realized is whatever you put into your job, the organization gives it back to you.
Do you think your generation works harder than the other generations?
No, they work smarter.
We try to work harder also, and we also try to find a balance. But I feel like most of the times we are not getting that. Like we are not being recognized for what we do or like being paid for the amount of hard work we put in.
For us, it was a 24/7 job. We were always available for our seniors and the organization. Even on a Sunday, if required, we used to work. Okay, no questions asked.
The younger generation literally has got everything on a platter. They have not, with few exceptions probably, not everyone has struggled.
I have a daughter who looks forward to the weekend.
There definitely has been a shift in the mindset of the younger working population towards understanding the necessity and the demand for better work-life balance, better work environments, and appropriate remuneration and recognition for the quality of work they put in. This is a stark contrast from the mindset of the generations before, who probably didn't see the importance of mental health at the workplace, mainly due to the economic condition of India then and the scarcity of opportunities at their time.
The office in India, they don't consider mental health as a problem. The majority, like I can work if I have a fever, but I can't work if something is going on in my head. I'm in a negative phase.
This is such a competitive world that everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to grow fast and they want to be looked like the best performing person in the company. And in that race, they actually lose that balance.
Work-life balance, I must say that today the children are much better off. Maybe it's a tick mark I give to the younger generation. They are able to balance their work and life much better than what we used to. So we used to focus solely on our work, and family always came second during my time at least.
Like my father also, till last year when I was working, I always told him like, I don't think so I like this desk job. It's very tiring, it's very boring. And he's like, oh, like I had to do this, I had to do that, I used to go this far away. Like I'm like, okay dad, like it's not like I have to do the exactly same things in order to be a successful man.
The state of job market now, it's like we can get fired at any moment. So like we try to do our best to just survive in the job.
Although some could argue that the current shift of work culture as a lack of work ethic amongst the population, we believe this doesn't really convey the whole picture. India has long needed a shift in its work culture as people were just expected to always put their work above their physical and mental health, leading to extremely toxic work environments and unhealthy levels of stress harboring the average Indian employee.
I think it was like most of the times I used to feel burned out. In society, the medical field, like being a doctor, is a very glorified profession, but like that is not the actual state. When you actually come inside, it's not the state. Like you get burned out, you don't get paid.
It's in their mentality. You know how Indian people are. They're very hardworking, and most of them come from a agriculture background. And you know how agriculture, without hard work, you can't. Most of my family also, like, they have an agriculture background. They think that in corporate also, in order to succeed, you will need to do that hard work.
What would you change about the work culture in India?
It's as simple. The leadership needs to understand that employees also have their own life. It's as simple as that. And also evaluating people not just on their performance but also how they treat the team, how they've built synergies of team, and how the immaterial aspects to a person's job is something that also needs to be valued. I think if that is also respected for a person's mental health, and the reason why they want to be in the company would be longer.
It has to be much more open in terms of communication. People have to get that confidence from the organization that they can express themselves if they feel they are overloaded, if they feel they are overstressed. They should have that open door policy that people can approach the HR or their managers directly and talk about it.
And post-pandemic, the hybrid model which has been introduced in our organizations is very healthy. And I can tell you, confidently that it's working beautifully. The productivity of all these organizations has gone up substantially.
And somebody is put in an X amount of years experience in the work. I mean, he or she is very clear in her mind as to what deliverables are to the company. And they are mature enough to understand that and work accordingly and deliver the results. But such people, if they are micromanaged, then it's sort of an irritant.
More recreational activities between the people, some team building activities like that. Like, they usually tell everyone that they do it, but it's very, in that also they get very competitive. This is a team building exercise. You need to help each other, not compete against each other.
It goes without saying that Indians are some of the most hardworking people in the world. It's only fair that they are also adequately respected and appreciated at the workplace. We are moving in the right direction, but there is still scope for us to grow with more laws and labor unions like you can see in European countries to help improve the lives of both blue and white collar workers. The line between hustling and exploitation will always be thin. Each one of us deserves a healthy and happy workplace.